Appreciate everybody joining in. I know that lives people come and go, and I'll try to hold your attention for as long as I can. Uh, this is Ask Me Anything. So anything you want to know about La Terrain, anything you want to know about Heritage Racer, I'm happy to answer. I'm also happy to answer anything about any other watches you might have. But I also wanted to talk today a little bit about who we are, where we came from, and how we got here. For starters, La Terrain's been around since 2018. We've been a brand that has been growing pretty significantly during that time. It's started and has been a complete side hustle of mine. I have been working on this after my daily job for the last 6 years. So for the last 6 years, I've been slowly building this thing out, and we are where we are today because of people like you. And the La Terrain Heritage Racer would not have existed. This watch would not have existed without any of you supporting us over the last 6 years, giving me helpful feedback, advice, and a lot of this really comes down to just wanting to make the best watch possible for the money. And what we've been able to do with this watch, I think, is take us to the next step in our evolution. We started off, selling watches for $50, and they were every bit worth $50. And now we are moving on up to a little bit different price bracket, but as part of it, we wanted to showcase this watch in particular to show what we can do. And so the Heritage Racer actually has a history to it. Actually has a history to it going back all the way from started in 2018. In 2018, what I really wanted to do was create a mechanical tachymeter watch. And the price to do that was exceptionally high. Couldn't afford it for the brand, especially in the first year. The first year at La Terrain, we only made $2,000 in the entire year. So to do a watch like this was well outside of our ability. Over the last few years, we've been able to do that, thankfully. And we've had a few watches to do that. So the first chronograph we ever did was the Compass, and that came out in 2019. And the Compass really set the stage for what we wanted to do with this watch. At the time, we couldn't afford to do a mechanical, but we did want to keep a chronograph in the lineup. And so this watch here in particular is kind of that culmination of the last 6 years of R&D, feedback, growing the business to be able to get to the point where we can do something this special. And so what you see here is our newest release, the Heritage Racer. This is our very first mechanical chronograph tachymeter watch. It is powered by the Seagull 1903 with the swan neck. It is going to give you 48 hours, I believe, of power reserve. So when you wind it, it should last you for at least over a day. The accuracy of this watch, the reliability of this watch with that movement is going to be exceptional. This is a movement that's been around for many decades now. It has its roots in a Swiss movement called the Venus 175, 177 family, and it has been utilized ever since across the world. Now, there's a few things about this watch that speaks to our heritage as a brand, and it's one of the things I'm kind of added in as Easter eggs that I'm happy to share with you tonight. The first thing you may notice is that the second hand that's used on this watch is a bright red. That's actually a Ferrari red, and it may not appear necessarily in the camera right now, but that color red, that actually comes from the Compass. So it goes all the way back to 2019 when we were going through the Pantone catalog of colors for red, trying to find the right mixture. We brought that forward to this watch to kind of pay homage to where we started with wanting to do a watch like this. The other thing that we did with this watch that was a tie back to earlier watches that we've done as a brand is the leather band itself. One of the things you'll notice is that we have different stitching color here than the actual leather itself. We wanted to have some of that mystery. We wanted to have some of that differentiation with the contrast. So it's got this nice contrasted stitching here. That stitching contrast idea actually goes all the way back to a model that we did in 2020 called the Voyager 1893 collection. And that was our first top line watch, but we only were able to afford to do 10 of them at the time. And those 10, only about 8 of them are out in the wild to this day. And one of them is currently with Elliot right now. And that is where that idea came from, of having the contrasting stitching. The last bit that kind of ties us back to where we've come from is the only number that you see for an hour marker is 12. Earlier last year, you might remember we came out with a watch called Voyager GMT. The Voyager GMT uses that same 12. And so we wanted to bring that into this watch as well to kind of tie us back to where we came from in order to get here. Much like the watch name, we want to pay homage to our heritage as a very young brand, but one that we're looking to continue to grow. And so I'll stop that right now with a little bit of this. And anybody has any questions at this point, I'm happy to answer them about this watch, about La Train, or about watches in general, honestly.
Yeah, my question is, how do I get onto this where I can see you again?
Where you can see me again.
Right now. Yeah, I can't see anything on your end. All I can see is me.
How's that? You see me? No?
No, I don't see nothing. I tell you what, I'm going to leave and try and come back in.
Okay. Does anybody else have any issues with being able to see?
What? No. Back on. No, it won't let me leave.
Okay. Well, hey, let's start off with any questions you might have about this watch. Oh, here we go. Let's get Elliot in here. So one of the things about this watch that we also did, let me see the watch. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things about this that we did was I have, in my own collection, I have a Omega Speedmaster, and that kind of gave me some inspiration behind this watch and some of the things I would want to do with that watch. And the first thing that starts off is the ceramic bezel itself. So on the original Speedmaster models, as you know, they use an aluminum bezel, and it doesn't have any illumination to it, which is classic to the 1960s moon landing watch. It's 2024. Hi. Hey, Elliot.
I can see you, but I can't see him.
So
it's funny. I don't know what you did.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
You're in the metaverse right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want me to see nothing. Well, I mean, I can see Elliot, but they won't let me see you.
Yeah, so I don't have the watch in my hands yet to be able to show what he's showing yet.
But you can see me, right, Elliot?
Yeah, I can see it. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's all good. Just walk on, man, and I'll listen.
Okay. Well, so for 2024, we felt like you should have a ceramic bezel on this thing, and it should have some lume to it. So we loomed the bezel with C3 to give it a little bit more ability to see it in low light conditions. And one of the things you might want to see is how the watch actually functions. So this is, if you want to start the timer, you click that. If you want to stop it, just like a Speedmaster, click it again. And if you want to clear it, that'll clear it. Next thing you can do is you can pull out the crown. This is also rated at 10 ATM, so it has a little bit more water resistance than some other mechanical tachymeters on the market. But you see this winds very nicely. Since there's no date complication on this, it really is just...
Which one is the...
I don't know if my camera will let me capture it up close, but can you see that?
No.
Okay. So, okay, yeah. I was seeing which iteration of the 1903 it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
because the 19 series movements are also back hacking if you have a second. That was why. But it's you you opted for the 12-hour hand.
Yeah, it's got the 12-hour hand on it, and so you can adjust the time really easily. There's not a lot of backplay here, by the way. Like this is pretty much spot on. When you can wind it with the crown actually inside the case, which allows you to just wind it. This thing's pretty wound up. It has a natural stop to it, so you can't really overwind it unless you really want to damage the watch. But it's got a pretty good
Right.
indicator that like you're done. Um, thank you, thank you. It does. Glad you like it. How it looks. One of the other things that we did here, and this is also like a pet peeve of mine that I really wanted to fix with this watch, was when you get a really nice watch with a great case like this, not being able to change bands on it easily. You have to use one
Oh,
of
come on.
oh, I hate
Yeah.
using these tools. So I got one of these, and I don't know how many times that these little things will slip. It never lines up even. It gets like one of the pins out, but not the other. It scratches the lug. And I want on this watch
We
not to
must
have
be
to
talking
worry
about the
about
pinky
that.
tool.
I want to
I
not have
always
to worry
love it.
about
I
that on
always
this
love it
watch.
when you message me. I have problems with this one.
Yeah, it happens to me every now and then. It's because of this thing. And I guess I could buy like the $200 one, but that's why. Um, so
I don't even
I'm
have one of those, so like.
You
lucky.
must be talking about the pinchy tool for the spring bars and
Yeah,
whatnot.
he's
I've
got
got one
the
too.
he's got the double-sided one where you can actually grab both sides at the same time.
Yeah. And it never lines up
So
right.
they're handy on fitted metal end links.
Hmm.
Some of those, when they're fitted properly, they go in so square it's hard to put them in otherwise. But there's tricks.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where I'm like, why don't we just make a quick release for every band on this watch? And so that's what we did. So the leather band, as you see, is quick release. You just pull this pin in, and out it goes. Easy. Easy to put back in. Then see, I'm doing this through a camera lens, so it's going to take me a little bit. Anyway, um, so every single band that this comes with has that, with the exception of the NATO, because with the NATO, you obviously need the spring bars to plug into the case to run the NATO. But even the mesh band that it comes with also has quick release.
Milanese.
Milanese mesh. And yeah, we wanted to make it so that anyone who buys this watch, depending on what they're wearing, depending on what their style is, can easily remove the bands, swap the bands out to whatever they want. And what's nice is rather than you having to go to a watch provider and pick out which strap you want, I mean, that's fun and that's something you can still do with this watch. But we wanted to at least give you some options out of the box. So every Heritage Racer comes with this leather strap, it comes with this NATO, and it also comes with the Milanese mesh.
Yeah, man, that's a hell of a deal.
Thank you.
Did
Yeah,
you
we
say
wanted to
there's
provide
like a
value.
fourth one coming too?
Yes. So something I haven't announced, but I can announce now.
Oh, my
Um,
bad. Well, you didn't say nothing like, but yeah, okay.
yeah. So the people who pre-ordered, the people who pre-ordered the watch, they are going to be getting an upcoming flat link stainless steel bracelet for free. It is going to be a glide lock milled clasp mechanism. It's going to be 316 stainless steel in a flat link style. It's going to be coated in matching diamond light coating, carbon coating. So it's going to be highly scratch resistant, and it will also have quick release.
And
Mm.
curved link, so fitted, right?
I'm just
What was that?
saying,
And
oh, go ahead.
it's fitted end link too, right? Curved.
Yes. It is made exactly for this watch. It's not off the shelf. So that's something else that we should probably talk about, is that nothing at all about this watch is off the shelf, with the exception of the movement, since it's a Siegel ST9 1903. Everything else is custom made from the ground up for La Terrain. You will not be able to buy this anywhere else. So this is one of the first times I can confidently say that that no other brand has our case, no other brand has our glass, and you think here so we can see it straight on. Yeah, absolutely. So let me
I was gonna
also
say you know it's game on now, Dave. And after the one that I'm gonna get for a review, after it makes its rounds through the UK and comes back to me, it's gonna get a good couple weeks on my wrist at the shop. So that whole
Have
scratch resistant, we're gonna test that out.
go for it.
All right. I'm just saying, I'm the scratch master. Like I don't even have to go to the shop, and I get scratches on shit. Like
Well, here's the thing with this watch is it uses sapphire crystal glass, it uses
mhm.
ceramic, and this is diamond laser coat stainless steel. So if you scratch this, you would have scratched anything.
I hear that.
I've seen some watches come in that the guy should have not been wearing.
Yeah, yeah, that has happened,
That has
and
happened.
that's why I'm saying like if you scratch this, then you would have scratched anything. Honestly,
Anything.
with that coating and that glass and that ceramic, I mean, it's good as we can do right now, with the exception of like some exotic materials for the ceramic that are proprietary.
I hear that, man. No, no, well, it just, you know what I mean, doing the mechanic work and stuff is, a lot of people are like, you wear your watches while you work? And I'm like, y'all don't understand a mechanic's life. It's pretty much 24/7. If I didn't wear them while I worked, I would never get to wear them. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, when when I do the reviews on watch and stuff like that, that's why I try and tell a lot of people over on YouTube. I'm like, when I say that watch is durable in its quality, you can take it to the bank. It's already gone through like a serious ass whooping, like far beyond what you were probably ever going to give it in its entire lifetime within like a week or two on my wrist. You know, so yeah, like when you get the durability thumbs up from Mr. E, buddy, that means your watch is actually pretty stout. The 1903, that's a really good, just reliable movement. It has a few little issues and whatnot, but nothing major. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's what 110 or 120-year-old movement.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
that's one of the reasons that we chose it. I mean, obviously, in the price range that we're in, we can't necessarily drop an Etta or a Salida in it just yet.
Yeah,
Um, but also, like one of the things that I think is it looks really good too. Like,
it is a pretty movement.
yeah, it just looks good. Um, as for the bezel action, this bezel's fixed, so it doesn't rotate on the tachometer scale. So that allows you to kind of just
it's not how a
keep.
tax scale works. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a diver where you're trying to measure the amount of oxygen left in your tank, so you're rotating it around. This one
Yeah,
really is just for like a fixed position.
more like a pilot's watch or race car driver. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, these got their start in racing. So like 1950s, I think, was really when they started to explode. Obviously the tag was big back then. Rolex Daytona, the Speedmaster, even before it went to the moon, was a racing watch. It wasn't anything beyond that.
Yeah, but when you're timing stuff up in outer space and you're trying to come back, you definitely want to make sure that you're going to time it correctly. I'm just saying. I
Yeah,
mean, where
yeah.
you
You
don't
don't
want
want
to
any
miss that
mistakes.
window and say, "Oh, well, shit."
Don't want
Yeah.
any
If you
mistakes.
hold that standard,
So any other questions about the Heritage Race I can answer, or about La Terrain or anything?
When is your estimated shipping dates on all of these? Like, when can people look forward to actually starting to receive them?
So we just shipped out all of the pre-orders this morning. They should start receiving. Everyone who pre-ordered will get theirs within the next 2 to 3 business days. I upgraded all shipping so that it is either priority or second day air. That way they get everything as quickly as possible. I just want to say how
Okay.
grateful I am that everybody had the patience to wait around for this watch, because I know that we had quite a few setbacks during the production of this with getting the case molding right. This is the third generation of the case mold that we had to do during this build to make sure everything fit properly. So uh, unfortunately, they had to wait longer than we were all expecting, but it worked out for the best because I think that, what came out of it was a better case. The fitment of it and the sizing of it is really good. Yes, the price point in mind for it, this is going to retail for $499. It's going to come with the bands that you see here, included with that price, and of course, it's backed with a three-year warranty from us. And you're looking actually at the guy who is helping us maintain that warranty.
Hi,
Yeah,
that's me.
my inspiration for this watch came from all the way from like 2018 when I started the call off, and it's okay that you just joined, no worries. Um, it ties in a lot of the elements of watches that I've done since 2018. Little nods and Easter eggs to things we did before. For those who have been on the call, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but I think it just helps tie it together, like where we've come as a brand. So the red that's on the second hand is the same Pantone red color that was used on the Compass from 2019. The 12 is from our Voyager GMT, which was our first dial that we wanted to make sure was completely ours. The stepped subdials are also a nod to our was it our, I think the nod to actually the inspiration behind the watch, which was the Speedmaster. But I think we had we had step dial on Voyager GMT as well, which comes from that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the the stitching on the band itself, the contrasting stitching, that comes from the Voyager 1893 collection from back in 2020, that idea. So it's got some LT Easter eggs built into it, and I'm glad you're gonna love us a long time.
Yeah, I think you missed the
the
boat there, Dave.
pressuring I had to the pressuring I had to do to get you to finally even talk about trying this though.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. These are available now. We can ship it tonight. We can ship it tomorrow. These are live on the website, ready for purchase. We have all of our inventory in stock now. So after that long wait, it's finally here. Thanks. I'm excited to hear what your
Yeah.
thoughts are about it when you get it. You should get it. I think by Monday is what your particular package said. The lume on this watch is actually one of the things that I wanted to do with having a ceramic bezel instead of like an aluminum bezel. And show the lume right now. It's going to be a little tough, but one of the things. Oh, I can't really do it right now. I would say for the loom shot, if you go to our website, I've posted photos on there, and I've also posted photos here on Instagram of what this looks like in the dark and in low light. So definitely check those out because those are the most recent photos I have of what this does with loom. Our dive watches are known for having really great loom. So as a
Sorry.
as a tachymeter, this isn't going to have quite as strong of a loom as the divers do, but it's still something that will allow you to see it at night. It will allow you to see it in low conditions, and every single measurement on this ceramic bezel is illuminated, so you'll actually be able to read like 45, 70, you name it.
Mm.
I was having a. Sorry, I just
Hey,
seen
Raphael,
this. Happen. Yeah, Raphael.
great to see you join, my friend.
Yeah, that's actually a right decent deal, though, man. I mean, you're talking about a whole lot of watch mechanical movement and four straps. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of bang for the buck there.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we want to do. We want to bring some of this higher end stuff to a lower price point. So I mean, like not many brands are using DLC coated cases at this price point. A lot of people are using PVD, and we use
Mm.
PVD on the Atlas models, and have seen some of those things coming in for service with the black PVD being scratched off. And I wanted to really avoid that with this watch. So we wanted to go to the extra step here.
I hear
In terms
that.
of water resistance, would you swim with this watch?
No.
No. It's rated to 10 ATM. So theoretically, you can swim with that.
It would
What
be.
I would say,
It
though,
would probably be just fine, but yeah.
yeah, what I would say, though, is if you're going swimming and one of these pushers gets pushed in, that could be a bad thing. That could ruin your day. So I would advise you not to go swimming with this watch on. But with that said, it's going to be absolutely fine for daily use. You're going to be able to wash dishes with it. You're going to be able to, wash your car with it. You're going to be able to dump, if you have like a bucket of water, you could just throw it in there. It'd be fine. But like,
If you fall
I
in
would
the
not,
pool, you'll be fine.
yeah, fall in the pool, you'll be fine. But yeah, I would not want to go like,
Yeah.
deep sea
Well,
diving and try to use the time, try to use the chronograph with the tachymeter function while you're in the water. And those are things
yeah.
might not be so good.
Yeah. No,
Thank you,
I don't
Raphael.
think if I was going to go swimming or was planning on going in the pool, the
I mean,
photograph
as
is
part of
definitely
your
not what I
torture
would do.
test,
Well, I wasn't planning on doing all that, but I do appreciate the forewarning.
I just want to say, if you return this and it's completely full of water and there's like a fish inside of it, I'm not going to warranty that.
Really? I've seen you warranty some pretty. I'll just say some of the stuff he's warranted has been phenomenal.
Thanks, Elliot.
I'll send him stuff like, okay, so here's what's going on.
We've had some returns lately too, where it wasn't for any mechanical reason of the watch, and it's been really interesting.
Mildly entertaining, also very annoying.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Raphael. This is definitely, a great looking movement. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to use it. We wanted something that kind of just showed the working mechanism behind the tachymeter, which, you can see here. Like, you can see how that kicks off the gear set, and then, how that will clear it. So if you really wanted to just have fun with this, have it off of your wrist and just watch how the watch actually works,
Or you
you could do that
could
with
wear it
it.
upside down.
Yeah, you can wear it upside down even, yeah. Maybe with the NATO.
Oh man, what you
So
get
you
when you
guys
have
want to see it
someone
on some
who's
different bands?
when they do.
So, sure.
Let's do it.
Still can't see shit. I mean, I can see Elliot.
Look at
But,
this. Raphael,
but,
this is the quick release I was telling you about.
I, like I said, I just had to take your word for it all, Dave. And like I said, I've been using my imagination over here.
That's
Well,
so weird.
Well, I
that's
mean,
weird.
it's cool because like Dave's already shown me pictures, so I know what he's talking about. Like
Right.
I can see it in my head
Right.
when he's
Yeah.
saying it. So like the leather strap, it does make it look very race car, like Le Mans looking. It
Yeah.
looks like something that would be behind, like a leather glove and a Ferrari steering wheel kind of thing.
So this is with
Um,
the Milanese mesh. This Milanese mesh is also DLC, so it's also highly scratch resistant. It's not just a matching color; it's actually in the same coating. So you're going to have a lot of scratch resistance here. Now, I'm sure someone will prove me wrong, but this is this
I'm
is
not
out of the
gonna go in
box.
there
This
and
comes with it.
try and scratch it. I'm just gonna wear it like I normally would wear everything else, and it's just everything else I wear. It doesn't matter. Like even my Rolex, man. Like it doesn't go even anywhere near a shop or a car or anything like that. It's got scratches all over it. And I'm like, shit. It's just like it's just me. It's just how I am, dude. Like even when I'm trying to take care of it and prevent from scratching it, I still wind up scratching it somehow. It's usually, I think, from walking my dogs. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm right-handed and I wear my watch on my right hand. To like the leash going across the metal, like this. Well, like the part where you hoop it around or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that
it's either that or them running up on me and like trying to tackle me and shit, and I'm like trying to fend them off, and it's the shit on their collar and scratching my watches.
the watch Terminator.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I know that if
I'm in a
this
I'm in
survives
a
your
server where
care,
we have a guy called the Watch Butcher.
if this survives your care, I'll know that we did a good job.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, it just being at the shop and me putting my hands in fucked up places and stuff. It just, it just happens. And then, but like I said, even stuff that doesn't ever go to the shop, it doesn't matter. It's got scratches all over it, and it does not matter. Like, shit, I think
Yeah.
I had one watch. It was even still in the box. And I pulled it out, and all of a sudden, like, I looked at it, and I'm like, there is one scratch right here on the side of the case, and I don't even know how it got there because it's new.
Yeah. No, I found a new scratch on my watch when I met up with Elliot probably about a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That thing had a scratch on it like when I brought it home. Had no idea how it happened. So guys, I don't have very good dexterity if you can't tell. My fingers are not meant for this. All right, here we go.
Is all that clicking him missing the hole with the
Yeah.
quick release crap?
Probably.
Holy shit, man!
I know my fingers don't work
The hair
very well
around
for
it.
this stuff.
He's putting the NATO on
I
right
can't
now. So
see
it was
nothing,
him
but I
just
can
putting
hear
a
it. All
spring
I'm
bar
hearing
in.
click, 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 click. Hey, shit, are you lighting a lighter? There he goes again.
So
Fuck.
this is with the
It
this
doesn't
is with the
sound
Navy.
very quick. I mean, damn, how many bracelets have you changed? Like, are we still working on the one?
All done now, man.
Okay.
This is the NATO that it also comes with, and so one of the things with this, I had a band in the early days of Compass that was, the black edging with the red stripe down the center, and I wanted to do something similar with this watch. So a bunch of just La Train Easter eggs all through this watch, and this one was intended to really match the dial and the sub dials to kind of one of the things we did was you added like patina to it to try to like give it that more of a vintage look, and we wanted to match that with the NATO. So that's where those two things tie together nicely. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys. That was what I was hoping for. One of the things that I don't think a lot of brands necessarily talk about, but I will, is when you're going through the mock-up stage and you're going through just picking the colors and trying to choose what this thing is going to look like on paper. You really are operating off of faith that what comes out the other side is going to match it. Um, anybody who works with colors knows that, like, if you put something on a white background, it's going to look different than if it's on a black background. If you have these different types of mock-ups where the case color might be, you know, silver and it comes out looking gray or it comes out looking black. Those are all the things that can happen. So a lot of this is on faith that what you get is what you ordered, to a degree. But this one here is it came out the way that we were hoping. So we're very happy with it.
Yeah.
Anything else I can show? With Heritage Racer, answer any questions? Any questions about the brand I can answer? This is our first time doing live, and I really appreciate everybody joining tonight.
What other products are you still selling? Or do you still have sunglasses and all other kinds of stuff, or you just mainly watches now, or what?
Oh, that's a great question. We do have sunglasses. We have bead bracelets as well. We started selling bead bracelets on the store because I think they're like $10. And what we do with that is anytime we sell a bead bracelet, we donate it to Charlotte's Children's Hospital. So all the proceeds from the bead bracelets that we sell go directly to them. We've been doing that since 2021 during COVID. So it hasn't been as much as we would hope, obviously, being charitable with that, but definitely have been able to give them a few extra bucks off of the sales of the bead bracelets.
Oh, that's very cool. That's a good reason to go out and get one. Maybe you should put something like that up here on the Instagram thing and like, let people know that.
Yeah, you're right. I need to market that more. It's definitely something that we care about. So yeah, we've also done things where every month some of the proceeds of the business go towards Easter Seals. Easter Seals is a program that helps veterans and people with handicaps get jobs and training in their second careers. And so every month, we send them a donation based off of, well, actually, I have a set amount every month, regardless of La Terrain doing well or not. They get a check every month from us.
And see, look,
Yeah,
look, even Philo didn't know, and Philo is up on fucking everything, dude. Like Philo don't miss shit. So
yeah.
yeah, you need to
It's
push
one of
that
those
out
things
there,
where
guys. I mean,
I
I'm
just
sure.
didn't. I want to do it, but I don't want to like be like, look at me, look at what we're doing, type of thing.
No,
Like
I
it's
wouldn't do it like that. I would just be like, hey, man, check out my cool ass fucking bracelet, and guess what? I don't keep none of the money. I'm just going to pass it along to over here. So you're doing a good thing, not you, Dave. They're doing a good thing. You see,
yeah,
that's how you market that shit. That's it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You're not bragging. You're not doing nothing. You're just stating the facts. It's like I got this cool thing, and you are going to donate this money to this fucking charity. That's how this is working.
I like it.
I'm
See,
just
I
saying.
still,
I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, marketing's my weakness, so I appreciate it. I'll try to do that.
like I said, that Muhammad Ali said it ain't bragging if it's true. You know what I'm saying? But then I mean, ain't none of that bragging at all. It's just like that's what's happening. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So like, it's just one of them things. If hey, you happen to like this, well, guess what? You are doing a good thing also. So then they'll just be more entitled than they already are. Okay, great. You'll be selling
well, I will.
entitlement.
I'll definitely start doing that. I'll do a post tomorrow about it. Actually, how's that?
Yeah, that'll work. And I mean, because like I said, especially like, when Philo don't know, motherfucker, then yeah, you're not talking about it.
I was thinking about adding that to the copy, fellow Raphael. Um, so
Yeah,
what's the next project, man? I am so glad you asked because Elliot and I have been talking about this now for probably about 6 months. This Heritage Racer was not uh, cheap for us to do. This is actually the most expensive watch we've ever done. So what's next on the board is that we are going to be doing the third version of the Seafarer. I will have more details around that as we get closer to actually pulling the trigger on it. But we view Seafarer as our luxury diver watch, and it's going to have some features that are going to be new to La Terrain when we release that one later.
Old version.
What Elliot's holding in his hand is our second gen, which I think showcases some of the ideas that we've had on how to improve this dive watch. We don't have to make a ton of changes, frankly, but it's going to definitely elevate that watch beyond our other dive watches.
Yeah, there's a few minor things that will just be just minor upgrades to really help set it apart and bring it up another notch. That it's the little things that matter on a lot of that stuff. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. There's one thing we've learned is the little things, right? Like we know that the case construction, the bezel action, the loom on these things, the dial. I mean, there's a lot of really good pieces there that we want to continue with, and we want to just bring it up a notch.
yeah.
And thank you for your kind words about our brand. I really appreciate that. We try to do our best.
and just for everybody,
He
just
is
so
not.
we're clear.
Go ahead.
Mr. Dave and Mr. Elliott are my buddies, but like nobody's paying me for anything that I say or do on here. I'm just here because I just want to hang out and bullshit with y'all. So just getting that out
I will
there.
not,
Like, you know.
on the helium valve, I will not allow him to add it.
Yeah, I've been told
no.
Elliot actually called me up one day and he's like, "Do not add a helium valve to Seafarer, or I will come down there."
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's one.
Elliot, why?
It's one more. It's
Well, like
it's
if
one,
you're gonna put
one more
the
thing
helium
to
valve,
fail, and it's not a watch that really needs it. When you get into the 300-meter watches, sure, but it's 90% of people, probably 90% of people, have absolutely no reason for it.
Can I share something with you? Let's
sure,
find it real quick.
good show.
And
All right.
also, from
So
my
here's
standpoint of keep an eye on his watches, I then have to be the one to make sure all that stuff works right, and I don't feel like doing it. So.
yeah,
And
that's exactly right.
cost does come into play, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
cost would come
continue.
into play. We would have to do a custom case. But here's a Seamaster that has the helium valve. I've had this since 2014. Um, I've gone pretty much everywhere with it. I've worked on my cars with it, like Mr. E. I've beaten the heck out of it. This has recently been serviced, so they actually polished it up for me. But this has never once been used by me. Now, granted, I'm not a professional diver, but it's been in the ocean, it's been in the pool. Like, it's a nice, I mean, some people really like the look of that. But from the aspect of functionality, I can tell you I've never once used it. And they actually told me at the boutique, like, do not open that. Just because of it allows even more risk to something getting inside the case and hurting the movement.
See, I don't know. That's one of the things that's like when we were talking about it before, Dave. You know, the Omegas. I like the watch. I like the idea of how good it's made and everything else, but it's just that fucking work thing up there in the corner just bugs the shit out of me. I can't do it. I just like that. That and the scallop bezel. But yeah, like I'm with Elliot on this. You know, less things to let somebody screw up and f up. Yeah, the better.
Yeah, and
I know
I
it's.
mean,
I
I
know the
don't
ones
mind
you're
it.
talking about. You can't see. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But in terms of Seafair, I just don't think, we're there yet. Maybe someday we offer a watch that's going to offer 300-meter or above water resistance. It's most likely not going to be Seafair. So with that said, just because of the case construction, I don't think that is going to be the watch for 300 meters and on up. So maybe in the future we'll do like a deep sea hunter type of watch where it's, you know, has the helium valve on it, and it's like 16 millimeters thick. But now at the Seafair, I just don't see that really working on that case, because we had to actually. So the Seafair version 2. This is the second version of it. This case here was a custom case made for us, and it's a reduced size, so it's a 43 mil. It is a chunk. We love. I mean, this is a great watch, but it's 200-meter rated, and yeah, I think it's good as is from the aspect of what we're trying to do with it.
I mean, I like the Seafarer as it like the case design on the newest one. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I think that looks right sharp. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's the one
Anytime.
that comes with the blue and black bezel, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the blue bezel with
The black dial.
stainless steel. It's the integrated bracelet.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, this thing is this is a very comfortable watch to wear because I think of that weight. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you joining. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
I
a great question.
appreciate you saying that I take good care of your watches, Philo. I mean, they're not mine, so obviously I try to keep them in the box and away from me as limited as possible. But Whenever somebody else is watching, I always try to make sure I don't wear it. Like, unless somebody has sent it to me and they're like me and I can tell because I already see all the shit on the watch, then, because like I had one guy, Ryan Bilby, he sent me, 2 or 3 watches and I pulled them out and I'm like, okay, this guy, he's a Mr. E. He has definitely worn these watches. He was like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. Just wear them. So it's I don't know. Like Jody Sylvia and Philo both, they take such good care of their watches. Like Jody sent me a watch. It was like 5 years old, and there wasn't a friggin' mark on it. And I'm like, how? How in the we even pull that off? Like I don't even get it, dude. I don't understand. But there has been a couple of brands like there's one brand called Valamore, the Kilgara. It came on a stainless steel bracelet, and I wore that thing, and I even asked him, I'm like, is there a special coating or something on this? Because I was like, this bitch ain't hardly got a mark on it, anywhere. I was like, I wore it for like a week straight at the shop. I was like, usually it'd be, showing some signs that it went to the shop, but yeah. So I'd be interested to see what that special coating that you got on that one, how it just holds up. But like I said, we'll do that after it makes the rounds to everybody and comes back to me. And I'll do a utilization test.
Well, on the website, there's actually a good photo showing the difference in scratch resistance between PVD and DLC,
Oh, okay.
where someone took pliers to the finish. Um, that's a great place to start for why we chose DLC for this watch. I mean, if you want to abuse a watch, you're going to be able to abuse it. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. But the hope is that this one will last people a lot longer than a traditional finish. And to prove my point, here's my Maritimer that I wear. Look at the wear right there. And now I think that's
What
just
are
from
you
sitting at a desk.
doing?
It's just sitting at a desk, man.
See, the
And
test, man, the
Two
test tears
two
shit up.
even lines.
yeah, so
That's
that's
funny.
just from sitting at a desk and it rubbing against the wood. So yeah,
And
I'm
see,
probably more like Mr. E.
well, like what's worse is that, okay, I got a old wood metal military desk, you know what I'm saying, from back in the 70s and shit. And that's here at the house. And then the other one at the shop is stainless steel. So, like, anything is worn to the shop. If the cars don't get it, me working at fucking mouse does. Tears that shit right on up.
Yeah, it's wild how that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone
I don't know.
mentioned.
People
Someone asked if you have thin automatics in the
Oh,
works.
thank you for bringing that back. Yeah, I saw that, and let me. So currently, we we kind of don't. Um, we're gonna have the ability to do it with
So
the Seafarer.
it's been brought up once or twice in conversation between us in regards to what happens with the 1893.
Yep.
But there has been nothing decided on, and that's so far down the road right now, I think, for you, that it's kind of in the back of our heads thinking on it for the future. I want him
Yeah.
to do it, but I also know the limitations.
Yeah.
I know
There's
I've
just
kind of
just
been, I'm still working on some of my own projects and similar to that, and it's a hard one to work in. Thin automatics, there's very few movements readily available for it. So.
Oh man, that's another great question. Man, you got some great questions tonight. Thank you so much. So the field watch, we had a watch called the Navigator. It was a pilot style watch, and it used an NH35 20 ATM, sapphire crystal, stainless steel, the usual. Yep, that one right there. And one of the things that was fun with that watch was that we got the leather bands from that from Chicago with the Horween.
Nice.
Yeah, they're USA hand stitched Horween leather bands that I got, and when they had them, yeah, it has our logo on the back with some nice blue stitching. The guy that I bought those from
I don't know if you can
He
see it.
actually went
Yeah,
out
you
of
can see the
business.
blue.
Yeah, he went out of business during COVID. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get those Horween's from him anymore. So I'll have to find those from somewhere else. But getting back to the main point about the watch itself, the uh, the Navigator will be coming back. I don't have a time frame for you. It's going to get some changes. It's going to get some lost terrain upgrades. So hold
Probably
on.
quite a few changes too.
Hmm.
I was going to
Like
say what more.
compared to what you see here, probably less IWC ish. I'll
Yes.
just put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say because IWC, San Martin, and Steel Dive all use that case. Because
Mhm.
Well, so the IWC is a lot bigger than this, but
yeah,
it's the dial. So if you the
yeah,
specific marker at the top, the triangle and two dots. It's kind of, I say IWC. It's a military-esque thing from back in the day, but IWC is the one that
yeah.
continues it to this day.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
That's right. Yeah. So, if you're looking at our brand right now, we have a mixture of what got us here with Compass, for example, Legacy. We have a mixture of the step beyond that, which is, Subnautica, Manifest, Navigator. And then now you're starting to see us going into the growth of the future with Heritage Racer, Seafarer, and our next generation of watches. As the brand has grown, we've been able to do more and more fun things. And this is the start of, I think, the next chapter for us to really have more fun. So we will be bringing a lot of these favorites back. It's just going to take time and money. That's why your support's so crucial for us to continue doing this.
So, what movement did the Navigator used to have, and what movement will it have?
Navigator used to have an NH35 movement. We don't have anything currently mocked up right now for what it's going to have in the future. With that said,
probably stay on an H35.
I
well,
would
Raphael, thank
recommend
you
the
so much for joining
55,000.
us. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.
What'd you say,
Yeah,
Ed?
oh, I was gonna say, take it easy, Philo. Have a good
Oh.
night. Say hi to the wife and everybody for me. But I was saying, I would go PT 5000.
I don't think
I
we're
know you
done.
hate me,
I
Elliot, but
had
I mean, I really like them. I'm sorry. I got a lot of watches with
I
them in the
don't
record.
necessarily, okay, so I don't necessarily have problems with PT 5000. If he was to go that route, I would push him to Seagull again with the ST21s.
Agree
Um,
with all that.
the issue I have right now with the 5000s is they're solid. One of the issues, and this is speaking generally across Chinese movements right now, because and there's Seagull is one of the exceptions. There's a couple exceptions. PT 5000 is definitely on the top of the list, where when you're getting into the clone movements, but they still have a lot of inconsistencies that when you go into, like, from Dave's standpoint of a production point, um, I know I can tell him, like, coming from me, this is where some of my input in watches happens. Coming from me, I know I don't. There's certain things I don't want him to have to deal with in a movement. Whereas if you go to the Seagull, they are much more tried and true and consistent right now in that particular movement. So the ST19s, so the
Mhm.
1903 in this case for the chronograph, they've proven solid, and 21s have also been proven to be very, very consistent. And I am more prone to look for consistency and quality control than anything.
I
I would
fully
rather
agree.
have that because I know it's not going to come back to me with a stupid failure from quality control.
Yep.
I can understand
And
that.
it still happens because, like, even within H movements, every now and then we still get one that's like, this is just not running right. We have to address this.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes.
But and Seagull's up there now, where Seagull has actually produced more movements than Seiko has. So there's
Yeah.
there's a reason they're doing so well, and they're like, when it comes to the other thing with them, okay, and this stuff being made in China comes up, right? And they're actually a Chinese heritage company. They're not just another, I don't want to say
Fly by
sweatshop, but
night, yeah.
sweatshop. They're actually a Chinese heritage watchmaking company. Like they at one point held, they were one of the companies producing all of the military watches for China. They are a true horology heritage company from China. So that's what I would push in. To someone's point about Solita, I think Dave would agree with my saying this. It's hard to bring you the value he wants to bring with Solita. The market is already harsh on the budget end, and it becomes 10 times harsher when you push into the Solita. Because, like, for instance,
The movement's $200 by itself.
right, but you get great watches, you get great movements, but what happens is when we can bring you something in a $500-$600 range that would
Exactly.
cost
That
you
makes it impossible.
$1,000 for the same thing
With a
with
Solita.
the Solita. That's, I think Dave would agree with me in
Yeah.
saying that's kind of where that's at. He wants to be there, trust me, and there's talk about it in the future. It's just not there yet. He has a hard time bringing the Solitas on right now.
Yeah.
It may
So
happen,
back,
but it's not there
yeah,
yet.
Elliot nailed it. And, just, to talk about this a little bit more, my, my vision for the brand is to eventually get into that market. The problem with that market is Elliot's right. It's way outside of our price range for where we have La Train at today, which means that we would have to go after a different type of customer than we do today. We would have to, frankly, really back up everything we do with that level of competition, to a new degree. And I definitely want to get there, but the price ranges and the cost for me to actually to build a watch using Solita or ETA, right now is just too high. For to bring back the Voyager 1893, I'll tell you guys some of the math. So to bring back that watch is going to cost about $96,000. That's more than the revenue of my brand, significantly more. So at this time, that's prohibited us from moving Voyager 1893. To go to a Solita, you can imagine what that might cost. It would be pretty similar, if not a lot more, depending on which model we selected and how custom we wanted to make everything. So that's not to say we don't believe in it, we don't want it. It's just not within our realm of reality at this point.
Yeah. Well, and, to what Elliot said earlier and whatnot, I fully agree, about the seagull stuff and everything. I think that is really, if you're going to go that route, that's probably the safest, best route.
Yeah.
It's to me, it just you get the heritage, you get the that luxury feel, that you've got something a little extra. You know what I mean? Like much
Yeah.
like within the Chrono Racer, that movement just it looks so pretty.
Yeah.
So,
It looks
yeah.
nice.
The other thing I would say in question, in particular, on movement selection with um, the field watch, I am probably, in my end of that side of things, I will still favor an NH movement over basically anything else that's going to pop up in the price range on the market, simply because it is more robust. It will take me more hits, and as a field watch, I would want him to have something that's going to be able to take more abuse. While you can arguably get a Seagull ST21 to run a little more accurately and a little more consistently, an NH is a much more robust movement. It will take a lot more hits without breaking. Like um, in the case of like we were working on that pocket watch, Ed, we had the pinion snap. That's something that happens more regularly on like the Seagull or even the Solita. They're a little more of a finessed movement in that their tolerances are a little tighter, but in the process of doing that, like their pinions are actually a little smaller. So like they're a little more prone to breaking. Not that you would, but the Seikos are more robust. They have a better shock system, anti-shock system, the Diashock. So that's where I'm at on that. If it goes either way, it'll be just fine. It's just those are the things I think about when questions come up, like what are you doing? What should I do with this, or where is this going?
I got you. And see, like where I'm pulling all my because basically all my watches are either NH35, 34, PT 5000, or the Seagull Movement, or they're actually SW200s, and then I have the one
Yeah,
Rolex. And like at the shop, and consistently, even after like a year worth of wear time, blah blah blah, equally between all of them. I really haven't had too many problems out of the PT 5000s. The biggest problem that I have had out of them, the little screw in the rotor, just back the fuck out by itself. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
So you will get that. You will get that in BT5000, SW200s, ETA 2824s, or anything in the 2000 family. And actually Seiko's as well. The NH screw set is actually technically worse than the PT5000 one. So like when I do a custom watch for someone and a lot of times Dave doesn't know this, but a lot of times when his watches come in, if he has an NH come in, if the rotor comes off the watch for some reason, it gets Loctited back on
Gotcha.
because they are very prone to coming loose. And it's just one of those things I do out of habit because I'm going to treat someone's watch like it's my own when it's in my hands. And I don't necessarily, I'm not going to take a watch apart to pop a rotor off to Loctite it if I don't have to do that, like if that's not necessary. But at the same time, if I'm in the process of doing that, if I'm there, so I'm going to do it anyway. And a little dab of purple Loctite fixes that problem on NNH at least. I don't usually Loctite my Solitas because of how the screw is set.
Gotcha. But yeah, and I mean,
they will come loose.
yeah. Well, and but like I said, I was mad, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, Ed, you're swinging a 4-pound hammer
Yeah,
and fucking hitting solid shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, basically all the no-nos that they tell you don't do with a watch, I do every day. You know what I'm saying? All day long with
yeah.
them. So, like, girls are like, I like a bad boy. I'm like, bitch, I use chrome sockets with an impact gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
uh,
at any rate, my phone's at 5%. I gotta hop off of here, guys.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Mr. E.
Not a problem, man. I really appreciate talking to y'all. I had a really good time. I'll see y'all later.
Likewise. Likewise.
Yep.
Have a great night.
All right, bye.
Any deep divers in the works, 500-meter, etc.? No. And the reason for that is I don't even want to know what that would cost per watch right now. I just put pretty much
It's
all we
too niche of
had.
a market to
Yeah,
right
that's
for
true.
now at least.
Yeah, it's all pretty much all of our money has gone into this heritage racer at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see how this performs, and then we can expand it further. But yeah, the 500-meter someday maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Anytime. Thank you for joining and all the great questions tonight. Really helped us with trying to explain a lot more about our thoughts and what we're going with the brand. And of course, thank you so much for your support and for ordering your own Heritage Racer.
Yeah. Gonna be fun to see finally. Fine.
Yeah, we'll be shipping yours out next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to end this. We said this to 9, so thank you everybody for joining. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to just email us off the website, sales@losherrain.com, and I will be answering your emails if you ever have any questions. So have a great night, and thanks for joining.
See you, Dave.
See ya.